national party out of government, the apartheid government, bringing it to its bony knees, is the very same way we must do to the ANC. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I think this is my submission, but I'd like to see Advocate Teffo getting a proper recourse, taking this matter to court, sue the police, sue the Minister of Police, and hopefully when he wins this case, because surely he's going to win it, and when he wins it, those people that were involved, they must pay every cent in their personal capacity. The state must not foot any bill for them. So even the lawyers that will be involved, they must push for the Minister of Police, all the respondents that will be in that case to pay in their personal capacity, because this thing of the state paying the incompetency and malicious conduct of the officials that are meant to uphold the law in this country. The only way and one of the way to stop it is that people must start to pay from their pocket. Then that's when the level of competence in this country will improve. I can give so many cases. The Ministry of Police is paying a lot of money. I know a family of member of mine that is involved in suing the state for wrongful arrest. I mean, that money can be used to fund police recruits, so many things in this country. But I don't want to take so much time and give an opportunity to other speakers. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Oh, hi everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm not gonna say much, but I am just livid at what happened today, and not only at the police, but at everybody in the legal fraternity, because we have been going at Advocate Teffo, and I think this is a trend. Just because a person cannot express themselves, they don't know how to maybe use the correct legal jugular. We just go at them. We do this to our fellow Black people. We do this all the time. And I think we need to stop doing this. We need to stand up for each other, because how do you defend Advocate Teffo at this moment when we were going at him to begin with? So we need to be fair in everything that we do. We need to practice what we preach. It's nice for us to talk in the corners and gossip about everybody else, because we know in the legal fraternity, there's a lot of gossip. And we laugh at each other. Oh, my word, he's from the side bar. Oh, which bar is he from? And we laugh at each other, We have no right to come and stand in front of everybody and act like we are concerned when we were going at him to begin with. So what I just want to say is that what happened today, it's a disgrace. The judiciary looks like it's in trouble. Now more than ever, we are in trouble. And it's up to us to stand up to whoever is in charge. Stand up and show them that they can't do this. Because today it was him. Tomorrow it can be me. Tomorrow it can be you. So we need to do something about this, not just have these conversations, and just share these conversations and talk about it. And then at the end of the day, it's done. And we do nothing about it. We need to stand up for each other, and we need to talk about these things. We need to come out and express it and tell people that, no, you can't do this. If you see me maybe saying something about somebody on the side, say it. Don't do that. Because I can say that because I'm coming from a point of privilege. It's easy for me to say it, but another person cannot defend themselves. So let's just start by up to everybody else. But if we are doing bad to each other, we can't fix anything. We cannot fix the judiciary that we are seeing. It's evident that it's captured. We cannot deny that anymore. We can see that
I know that Mr. Tynes had said earlier that it's just a normal occurrence. It's indeed considered procedural to execute or carry out an arrest of an individual, of a legal practitioner, after they have made their submissions during a court proceeding. But we can't just regard this platform as if there's anything wrong, or we are making some presumptions about the allegations against Mr. Teffo, and all that. All that we are discussing here. In fact, we should not actually make this level of discussion as if there's anything wrong about it. There's nothing wrong about having a court of public opinion. This is a very high-profile matter, for God's sake. Everyone is actually watching the court proceedings unfolding on television. Others have actually followed this case from the documentary. And from there, people might have said, look, there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that need to be put together. Let's check the trial as to whether or not the trial would put together the pieces of those puzzles. At the beginning of the trial, we also accept that there had been some quite challenges from the beginning of the trial. But what I wanted to say from this thing, as much as every single individual in this platform has experienced injustice in one way or the another, in every different sector of society, I have personally experienced injustice myself, even in the workplace, where I'd made calls or agitated a cause for the absorption of people who had worked for over 10 years without being retained for permanent employment under the part-time system. When I stepped into the space and started challenging things, the employer went straight for me. When they went straight for me, and then I started referring and declaring a dispute against them through SCMA. In fact, it was just to test their own internal measures, whether there's any fairness. When I did that, the sanction that they decided against me from an initial disciplinary hearing was set aside. Then the accounting officer of the very same institution issues a letter intimidating me. So if I were to go overboard and discuss this thing, I would seem like I would appear as if I'm prolonging this thing. But the call that I want to make from here is that it's actually what Mr. Sipo had said, that it would remain a futile exercise for us to just merely speak and discuss this thing. Of course, there's nothing wrong about us having these discussions, interrogating whatever injustice, whatever it is that is going wrong about the country, whether it's about the leadership that we've entrusted our trust to actually steer the country to the right direction. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We must not make as if is anything wrong about that. But what is important for us, or the question that we should pose to ourselves, is to whether are we prepared, or how far can we ensure that these level of progressive discussions that are undertaken by people who have a highest level of consciousness and capacity, these discussions must begin to translate into some form of action. Or Mr. I'm not sure. We can't, because we are well vexed. We are highly knowledgeable. We have in our own individual spaces. In so much as this discussion is very important, whether it is about the injustices that are inherent, that are very apparent in the judicial system, in the political system, in the economic system in the country, but it just can't merely reside only within these Twitter spaces and Twitter platforms. It must begin to translate into something. And then that is actually the task that we need to quickly assign ourselves here. Other than just us merely having this kind of discussions here, what else are we prepared to do to ensure that we are not only regarded as mere theorists who are just having some lazy discussions that any individuals or group of people in the streets could have here? Because of course we are concerned about this country, and we want to see South Africa taking a direction of hope, so that the generation of young people that will actually come and assume the leadership responsibilities here do not inherit a country, a justice system that is rotten to the core, as I firmly agree with what Mr. Sipo had said here. I again want to reiterate his exact words that something here, without even wanting to sound controversial, it has to break. Something very extraordinary has to happen. It's totally futile. It's the totally futile exercise to have the discussions. And so much as there's something commendable about them, because very concerned South Africans are, converging in this Twitter space and begin to have these discussions, dissect issues, discuss issues, check facts around them, dispute what can be disputed, confirm and affirm whatever that is right about the discussion. But what is important is that something big needs to translate or culminate beyond what we are having now here. Thank you very much, Speaker. Those were my closing remarks. I hope we'll have another discussion. I really want people, and I want to commend people who have actually organized this discussion to happen, that we are not actually making presumptions about the cases or the very dramatic arrest of Mr. Teffo and drawing conclusions, making insinuations here. There's nothing wrong about this discussion. These discussions must happen. Of course, we know that Mr. Teffo himself, through his senior counsel, will actually challenge this thing. And I also support what the latter speaker has just said, that he must actually begin to institute legal proceedings against the state. In so much as the validity of of that very same arrest warrant, it's something that must still be authenticated. Even the charges that are there, it's something that must be authenticated. But something here must be done so that someone else tomorrow, even the speaker who actually bemoans what we're doing here, can be even a victim of the very same injustice that was meted out against Mr. Teffo today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't know, Ziki. I think please. We said we were closing at 8. I don't know because I'm seeing so many people who still want to talk. Ziki, just be brief.
Okay, thanks. Thanks so much, Speaker. Yeah, very dismayed at what happened today. And I mean, people saying, when you look at the arrest warrant, I think are a bit misguided in the full picture of South Africa. Because the thing is, this is not a one case thing where this is happening. Didn't Advocate Teffo get a... Sorry, co-host, I think your mic is not muted. But yeah, man.
Sorry.
Advocate Teffo was arrested also during, I think, the Jackie Salebi case and everything. So this is, it feels more like, the Ramaphosa dream is not actually happening in this country. And the authoritarianism of Zuma is staying here. And I guess it wasn't only Zuma, but it was inklings in the ANC government that showed that they were doing things similar to the apartheid government. Because it's in the apartheid government would do things like, jail someone without charges. And that's currently happening right now. So we haven't renewed ourselves. I mean, like how the ANC talks, we just a lawless country, and the police are so corrupt, extremely corrupt, and it's just, when will it end, guys? Because we want a country that actually works for everyone, and currently it doesn't work. Literally, for like most people, it's not working, and it's not protecting our lives. It's not making us more rich. It's not developing us. We're one of the most sad nations in the world. I just think, this is just, there's no surprises, but I mean, we have to vote differently, because we can't just be a banana republic for our whole lives. Something has to change, and we need to be the change. Thank you.
Okay, Tabi,
Yes, thanks, Speaker. Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, I'm touched because I also know Teffo personally, and I know that he's one who tends to ruffle feathers in whatever that he does. So, for what happened today, you can clearly see that there's a hand behind. I think what we are underestimating as the public is the kind of influence that some people who are touched by this case have. I mean, if we look at, for instance, this Twala boy, I think we are underestimating how powerful his father is and who he's connected with. So these kind of things can happen. I know that Tifo is not squeaky clean. I know that he's not squeaky clean like any other person. But the timing of what happened today should be raising questions. I think we let a lot of things go in this country. And this goes to show you that ANC, particularly, I had one of the speakers here speaking about the ANC. This goes to show that they don't respect us and they don't care to the extent that they can do this in front of international audience. This should be worrying. I mean, we look at things that are happening with the appointment of Zondo, for instance. No, these things are being done blatantly without any fear. This just shows you that they are not scared of us because they know at the end of the day, when voting comes, people are still gonna vote for these people. This is exactly what is happening. Where basically this is a dictatorship. We are living in a dictatorship, and we are watching. And people know what is happening, but they're just letting it go. We are happy that you're going to have a meal before you sleep, and then you wake up. It's business as usual. The status quo is not challenged. Nothing is happening. So yeah, with Tifo, it's sad what happened today. And when I say I know Tifo personally, I had an incident where I know him from. There was a church that I used to attend where he's also a member. I had a case where my employer had dismissed me. He was willing to take that case pro bono. That's the type of person he is, and he's not scared to challenge the powers, so to speak. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you, speaker. Thank you, hosts.
okay. Zangamanza.
Thank you, co-host and host, and the speakers and the listeners. Just one thing, I'm just going to say, society is a group of people with normalized averages. Seemingly, we have gone south, and there's nothing average and nothing normal within us. The sheer disgust of someone's constitutional right being disregarded in public daylight, the whole world watching, we are in trouble. It is disdainful. It is very, very, very bad. I mean, last I checked, the Bill of Rights had the right to dignity. I mean, how do we do something like that? But any event, my comment was about society and normalized averages. I'm gonna end there, but yeah,
Hello.
but
Mute, take notes. Please mute your mic.
Am I speaking now? Can you guys hear me?
Mute your mic. Somebody speaking. Mute your mic. Somebody speaking.
Yeah.
Carry on down.
okay. So all I'm saying is that it goes to prove that all governments are criminal syndicates, and ours has gone.
What happened today?
Are we?
Okay,
Can I speak now?
okay, you can speak.
Okay, sure. Hey, the whole thing is troubling, man. To be honest. Let me just try and to be quick here. I was talking to my mother about this case. Now I'm just trying to show you the level and the difference between us and our parents. Looking at who should we blame, when it comes to all the problem that you are facing as young people. So she was watching the whole story, for the whole week, watching and looking at how she was judging the whole thing. She was pointing fingers at Teffo, the advocate. I didn't do anything much at that time because you have to wait and see and how this thing, the whole thing is playing. Him asking the same question, repeating the same question. It upset her. She felt like, this advocate, why is he doing this and that and that. And then today he's arrested. Now the first thing you do, you go and dig deep and see what is happening, and you realize no one, no one. The advocate at an interview at SABC, he's making himself clear there. Everything he knows about the case, what happens. Not a single person, from the young people actually. They always on Twitter, they know sense. What about football player supporters, football supporters? What about them? None of them. They are sharing this thing. They are not moving this story so that the whole story can try and see all the sides as in what is happening here. I mean, why would you defend, say, Senzo Meiwa, and then you still want to defend the people that are accused? It starts there. You need to ask yourself, do we blame ANC? Of course. Do we blame our parents? Then we start, they are our parents. You see how they are influencing us, in terms of knowledge and how we should see things. They still believe that this freedom, they fought for it, and then it's powerful. We should appreciate it. That's how they believe, most of them. And these people, most of them, they sit in front of the TV and watch television all the time. Now, the question that I want to leave you guys with, why, in fact, let's help out, let's reach out. I'm not saying let's take the advocate side, but let's reach out. How about we download the video? How about we make sure that our neighbors, they know the story? Surely the SAPC is not going to play that interview again, but they don't know. They not all of them are on YouTube. They not watch these things. How about now we reach out? We start collecting these things and make sure that we share with them. So that they know these things. Instead, brainwashing us and telling us, no, the freedom is still there. You should respect. Cyril Ramaphosa is giving us grants, so relief grants. So we must respect and appreciate. When we tell them, no, the vaccines are like this. It's not like we don't want to take the vaccine. How about we wait a year so that we can see what is going to happen with the vaccine? No, you must do this. You know what I'm trying to say. So we need to also question, the people that are close to us. Yes, we're gonna question ANC, we're gonna question Julius Malema, but also the people that are close to us, the influence that they are doing in terms of how they interpret stories. And you must understand, there are kids around us. They're gonna look at the advocate and look at him as a criminal. Because you have the parent there saying, this lawyer, they arrest him. So I'm saying let's reach out now. Let's not take advocate the side. But let's take the information and make sure it's there. Everyone can see it. Your neighbors, your people. The people on your street. Go door to door and say, look, if you care about this story, here's another information. It's a start. Let's try to sort of now. Yes, the story is happening there in another province, and I'm in Cape Town actually. But it doesn't mean that now we must now say, now it's happening far away. There are people who are watching these things around me, but make sure they see other stories. They mustn't just see what happened today, the court. Let's take it back, as to what did he say before, what happened, what are the things he's saying, let's not just go with the what Tipekele is saying and the charges that he's bringing forward. Let's not just focus on that. Let's focus on what he's been saying the whole week. What are the upsetting things that he's saying to the public and in the court. We need to analyze all these things and see. Let's not just look at the idea, or we get carried away with the idea that these are the suspects and we must just focus on the suspects. We need to sort of analyze everything, because it's the things that he's saying and the thing that happened before. It's not just the charges that are being made up, but also the things that he's saying. They are upsetting them, they're making them and let me be honest, on that interview, he said he talked to Twala's father, and Twala's father was honest. He said, "Look, yes, I'm the father, but I did. My child is old enough now to go and do his things. If he's done something wrong, arrest him." He made it clear on that interview. But we don't use this information. We don't use these videos, and make sure that the one next door to you, it might be an old father who watched TVs all the day and he's probably blaming the advocate today. But if you say, go and ask him, did you watch the interview that he made, a few weeks ago? He will tell you what interview. They don't know. We just have to reach out now and make sure whether these stories are very far from us. Let's make sure the people that are next door to us, we bring close this information and make sure that people are learning. So yeah, thank you from Cape Town, Kenya.
All right, thank you, Kanya. Tanta, are still there? All right, I think that's where we're gonna end it. Thank you guys for being part of the space, and thank you to Zinzi and Tanta for also helping me to co-host the space. A lot of questions, less answers. That's what we've picked up here. We are all asking ourselves, and I think for now we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens, and continue the conversation on timeline, and hopefully we'll open another space when Teffo gives us a direction or what he's gonna do next. I think that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I wish there were answers. I wish there were more answers than questions. But unfortunately, we are all in the dark, and it's a sad state at the moment, because we don't know what's happening. But something is happening. We just don't know. We can't put a finger to it. But whatever that is happening, it doesn't feel right. When you look at it, it looks scary. And you know these things, when they are done to big people and prominent people, then you just wonder, when you put yourself, like, if this can be done to those people, I mean, what about me? I'm just nobody. But yeah, that's where we are currently, unfortunately. That's what's happening. But yeah, I think we'll just end it here, and we'll meet again, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, host. This was such a very, very good conversation. I really quite want to applaud you for having organized this. And you should never get tired in actually organizing this kind of platforms and conversations. These conversations, I want to reiterate, must happen. They must happen, these conversations. The concern about and the perception, public perception about the elites having access to certain sections of the judiciary, and justice system. As you are correctly saying, people are sitting here asking questions. If this person was a prominent individual, would this thing would have happened to that person? The answer is probably no, given the influence of the individual. And because of the documentary, the serious or the groundswell of the public uproar and the public outcry, the trial had to convene. Otherwise, this case would have been a cold case. Senzo's case would have been a cold case. Whether or not arresting Teffo was procedural or not procedural, but we remain worried about what will happen to him. That defense, any individual in that defense team, from now until the matter, the court proceedings resume again on the 30th of May. That is very, very lengthy. From now until then, we are concerned, we do not know. We can only pray for them, that they are safe, their families are safe wherever they are. Because it's such a bizarre thing. It tells you about the level of authoritarianism in South Africa, that defense team whose legal protection is something that they need to be firmly assured of. They are sent messages, they are sent SMSs during the body break of the proceedings, intimidating them. What does it tell you? Yet we pride ourselves of being a country where democratic or constitutional democracy is sacrosanct. It takes precedence over anything. Yet other individuals' rights are being brazenly trampled upon like Teffo. We are not actually trying to parade ourselves as the legal messiahs here, but we bemoan a situation of a David versus Goliath in the space of an individual who happens to be in a most powerless position and the one who exploits opportunistically his powerful position, exploiting the powerless position of the one that does not have the level of legal authority that they enjoy. This is the level of the disconnect, the level of power imbalance that is concerning in South Africa. And the more these types of conversations take place in order to expose these things, we may not be actually conducting a press conference now and say we are concerned South Africans, and we are concerned about this event that had taken place today. We believe that it actually seeks to, perpetuate injustice here against ordinary South Africans, and this is the wrong message that it will send to the public. But these conversations, my very dear patriotic South Africans who are here listening here, they must happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. And please, guys, pray for the Mayor family.